Welcome to College Football Legends, where we dive deep into the stories of the game's greatest heroes. Today we dive into the heart and soul of the Atlantic Coast Conference, discussing some of the fiercest defenders of the college gridiron. The linebacker position is considered the backbone of the defensive unit in regards to leadership and playmaking ability. In today's episode, I will take you on a journey exploring the top 5 linebackers from this conference. This is not only a countdown, but a tribute to those that have contributed in shaping the game that we love. So whether you bleed the colors of your alma mater or simply revel in the glory of the game, join us as we celebrate the men who have embodied the heart and soul of college football. So without further ado, let us dive into this top 5 list of linebackers from the Atlantic Coast Conference. We begin our countdown with Rickey Jackson. He grew up in South Florida and was a standout at Kuechly High School. As a two-sport athlete in basketball and football, he displayed his athletic ability and dominance. Standing at 6 feet 2 inches and 230 pounds as a 17-year-old, along with the ability to hunt down ball carriers, attracted the attention of college coaches all over the country. To celebrate the 100-year anniversary of high school football in the state of Florida, Jackson's legendary play on the field led to a selection to the Florida High School State All-Century team. This is an honor given to only 33 players, so it's safe to say prior to beginning his college and pro career, he was in elite company. As a highly sought-after defensive prospect from the state of Florida, he chose to play college football at the University of Pittsburgh. Despite eventually becoming one of the most dominant defensive players in Pittsburgh Panther history, he was overshadowed by his teammates. Those teammates included College Football Hall of Fame defensive end Hugh Green, in addition to Pro Football Hall of Famers Russ Grimm and Dan Marino. As a solid contributor at linebacker, Jackson notched nearly 300 tackles and 21 sacks. In addition, he collected a handful of interceptions, fumble recoveries, and a blocked punt on special teams. Overall, described as a versatile player, he solidified his ability to play at the professional level in college football all-star games. He was named the captain of the Senior Bowl, and he was selected most valuable player of the East-West Shriner game, which led to a second-round draft pick by the New Orleans Saints. Jackson was a member of the infamous Saints Dome Patrol that included Vaughn Johnson, Pat Swilling, and Hall of Famer Sam Mills. This group was selected by the NFL Network as one of the greatest linebacker units of all time. In a span of 13 seasons, Jackson only missed 2 games due to an auto accident in 1989. It was initially thought that this accident would sideline him for the rest of the season. Instead, he elected to have his jaw wired shut and continue playing, earning an additional 7 sacks after the accident. He finished his final 2 seasons with the San Francisco 49ers, which he won a Super Bowl and a 49-27 victory over the San Diego Chargers. After his retirement, Rickey Jackson was selected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which he's the first former Saints player to receive this honor. In 2021, he fulfilled his promise made to his mother, and he returned to college, finishing his degree from the University of Pittsburgh. Our next entry in this countdown is one of the most decorated defensive players in Florida State University history, and that is none other than Marvin Jones. Growing up in the tough neighborhoods of Miami, Florida, he took refuge from the negative influences by excelling in football at Northwestern High School, which is renowned for producing some of the top prospects, and Jones was no exception. Although recruited to play for every major program in the state of Florida, Marvin Jones chose to play for the legendary Bobby Bowden at Florida State University. During his time with the Seminoles, he displayed a hard-hitting, aggressive playstyle that struck fear in opposing offenses. Jones was a 2-time All-American and a Butkus Award recipient as the nation's best linebacker. As a first-round selection with the New York Jets, he was a force to be reckoned with, and one of the most reliable contributors for the Jets' defensive unit. Over the span of 10 seasons with the Jets, he amassed over 1,000 tackles, 8 sacks, and 5 interceptions, and his jersey number was retired by the Florida State Seminoles. After his retirement from football, he's coached several indoor league teams, including the Tulsa Oilers. In addition, Jones has founded a charitable organization focusing on the development of at-risk youth through the promotion of academics and athletic participation. Jumping into our number 3 selection, we have Luke Kuechly, who is considered one of the greatest defensive players in both Carolina Panther and Boston College history. Growing up in the suburbs of Cincinnati, Ohio, he was a man amongst boys for the St. Xavier Blue Bombers. Standing at 6 feet 3 inches and 220 pounds, with the closing speed of a cheetah, he was known to hit opposing ball carriers with the force of a Mack truck. Imagine the average 17 and 18-year-old attempting to stop this force of nature. He led the St. Xavier Blue Bombers to a 15-0 season, capping with a state championship victory. Despite notching 275 tackles, 8 sacks, and 3 interceptions his junior and senior year collectively, he was only listed a 3-star recruit. Many speculate that his low recruiting profile was attributed to most of the competition being against other private Catholic high schools in central and southern Ohio. These schools have low enrollment and therefore not known for producing top-tier talent. With his off-the-chart statistics, 3.8 GPA, and prototype sized, he received offers to play at Duke, Virginia, and Stanford. Luke Kuechly chose to play middle linebacker for the Boston College Eagles, and he made an immediate impact, being the first freshman in school history to lead the team in tackles, with a total of 158. It was apparent that he was going to be a dominant force for the Boston College Eagles. Following his breakout freshman campaign, he followed up with leading the nation in tackles his sophomore and junior season. Deciding to forego his senior year to enter the NFL draft, He concluded his time at Boston College with a total of 532 tackles, 3 sacks, and 7 interceptions. In addition, he was the only 3-time All-American in Boston College history and was awarded the Bronco Nagurski Award for the most outstanding defensive player in 2011. It is all too common to see a player this productive at the collegiate level become a complete disappointment once they arrive to the NFL. In Luke Kuechly's case, he exceeded the expectations of pro scouts and draft experts. As a first-round draft pick, he notched 164 tackles and was named Defensive Rookie of the Year. In his following season, he was named NFL Defensive Player of the Year. In 7 consecutive seasons with the Carolina Panthers, he was named to the Pro Bowl and totaled 1,092 tackles, 18 interceptions, and 3 sacks. And he had his jersey number retired by the Boston College Eagles. Our next entry into this countdown is one of the most prolific defensive players in the Atlantic Coast Conference. He spent his entire career from Pop Warner until his retirement from pro football in the state of Florida. This is the story of Derrick Brooks. Growing up in Pensacola, Florida, to hard-working blue-collar parents, they instilled the concept of discipline, humility, and character. Brooks' stepfather worked multiple jobs to provide for his family, and his mother has been influential in raising a young man that would become the influential figure he is today. His road to the Hall of Fame would start at Washington High School as a skinny, undersized defensive back. With his elite ability, he led his team to the state championship game, falling short to Central Florida powerhouse Manatee High School. After a successful high school career, he chose the Florida State Seminoles over the University of Florida. Tallahassee was only a 2-hour drive from his hometown of Pensacola. The legendary late-great Bobby Bowden, with the addition of Derrick Brooks, was assembling a team that would take over the college football landscape. His success at Florida State had his share of hurdles. For example, prior to arriving to campus, he only weighed 190 pounds, and it was apparent that he would need some development before making the starting lineup. To add, he struggled playing strong safety. However, coaches realized his true talent, and his future was at linebacker. As soon as he changed positions, the rest was history. Throughout his time at Florida State, he was a leader on and off the field, finishing his career with 275 tackles, 9 sacks, and he was named an All-American his junior and senior year. In addition, he led the Seminoles to the program's first national title in school history. Despite his accomplishments, NFL scouts believed he lacked the physical size to play at the pro level. Not only did he prove the scouts wrong, he blew away the competition and silenced the critics. As a first-round selection to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he was a solid force at middle linebacker. Arguably, the highlight of his career in Tampa Bay was an interception for a touchdown defeating the Oakland Raiders in Super Bowl 37. He was an Iron Man playing in every game over the span of 14 seasons. He's concluded his career with 1,700 tackles, 25 interceptions, and 14 sacks. Since being named to the College and Pro Football Hall of Fame, he serves as a member of the Board of Trustees at Florida State University and is a member of the NFL Players Association. If you haven't guessed by now, we're at our final entry. Anyone remotely familiar with North Carolina Tar Heel football, there is only one who influenced how the game is played today. So without further delay, I would like to introduce Lawrence Taylor. As a native of Williamsburg, Virginia, his mother worked hard as a school teacher and stressed the importance of academics. His father, who worked as a shipyard dispatcher, emphasized the importance of discipline and hard work. To keep him occupied and away from negative influences, he participated in basketball and baseball. Taylor did not play organized football until his final 2 years of high school. Due to his late start to the game of football, many college coaches overlooked Taylor's raw talent and ability. North Carolina assistant coach Bobby Cale noticed his untapped ability and convinced Taylor's parents to sign with the Tar Heels. He became an unstoppable force at outside linebacker. He was too athletic for offensive linemen to block. In addition, he was too strong to be contained on the edge by receivers and tight ends. This matchup nightmare led to a record-breaking 16 quarterback sacks as a senior. He was named All-American, and his jersey number 98 has been retired. Lawrence Taylor was initially an obscure talent that became the most sought-after NFL draft prospect in history. The New York Giants selected him in the first round of the 1981 draft. Commonly known as LT, he introduced a lethal mix of size, speed, agility, and strength that was unheard of for the outside linebacker position during that era. Opposing offensive linemen were hardly out of their stance before he was in the backfield chasing their quarterback. He used techniques that are common in today's game. However, in the 1980s, it was nearly impossible to block him. After inadvertently injuring Washington quarterback Joe Theismann, NFL teams began to realize the importance of the left tackle position that protected the quarterback's blind side. As a result, this introduced an entire trend of athletic defensive ends and linebackers that used speed to put pressure on the quarterback. Conversely, offensive coaches constructed entire schemes to neutralize this wave of athletic defenders. Over the span of 13 seasons with the Giants, he was instrumental in their victories in Super Bowl 21 and 25. In addition, he's had over 1,089 tackles, 142 sacks, and 9 interceptions. He's been named the NFL MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and he's a 10-time Pro Bowler. After his retirement from football, he's had several run-ins with the law, and with your comments we can discuss in another video. He's appeared in several movies, most notably as a veteran linebacker in Oliver Stone's critically acclaimed movie Any Given Sunday. He's also been the inspiration and voice for many video games such as NFL Blitz and Grand Theft Auto. There you have it, our list of the greatest linebackers in the Atlantic Coast Conference history. Their talent, determination, and unforgettable moments have left an indelible mark on the world of college football. I want to hear from you. Who do you think deserves the top spot? And was there anyone that I overlooked? Share your thoughts and comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay connected with the captivating stories of college football's greatest heroes, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode of College Football Legends, where we celebrate the unforgettable players and moments that define the sport we love.